Howdy ho traders. My weekend video, real quick here. So please like the video if you get a chance. Retweet me, Gumby9662C on Twitter or X, and some comments below the video. I appreciate it, feedback and stuff. Do appreciate that stuff. So I turned the Venom on. I don't typically have the Venom lines on my charts, but today I turned them on. This is the market webs and with the targets. They turning the targets on, okay, and they call them venom lines, okay. And what I want to point out here, you see this area, purple area that I've got lined out right here. Well, what the heck's that mean? I think that's resistance, and I'll tell you why. Let me erase that real quick, and I will show you. That's 3 years. Uh, these are targets. 3 years worth of targets, all in this zone, right? So, why do I think that is a important thing? Well, let me turn my drawing tool back on here. And so, if you go down here at 2021, you see this right here. Okay, you see that cluster? That's a cluster. That'd be a purple area too. Acted as resistance for almost 2 years. Okay, so just be mindful of that. That cluster acted as resistance for almost 2 years. Guess what? Now you come up here potentially. Okay, now you got 3 years worth of clusters here. Okay, right there. Okay, so we're in a similar situation. So we're on Venom Line 4. We did get to Venom Line, almost to Venom Line 5 back in 2021. Okay, so the Bulls are thinking we're having a mirror of the 2021 rally, which could very well be the case. And in that case, we would have to be looking for 637 as our upside target. Okay, in that case. Otherwise, we have to be mindful that, uh, this could potentially, right in at any moment, be what we saw right here, a top into Venom line resistance. So I don't know what's going to happen here, but I just wanted to point that out. Okay. So guys, some takeaways that I got going on what we had this past week. Okay. Uh, let me see here. I need to put a couple more days. Give me a second here. So what we did here, guys, we had a poor high here on Wednesday, which we resolved higher. We repaired the poor high, but then Wednesday created another poor high. Thursday we came in. We completed the poor high. Okay, we repaired and completed that poor high. Okay, and then Friday, uh, so we repaired the poor high on Friday, and Friday we pushed up and above. Okay, so everything looks bullish right here and right now. But my point is, if we were to come in tomorrow morning, potentially breaking below, I mean, conservatively, the basically, uh, 594.55. If for some reason we were coming back down, that's something to stand up and pay attention to. Okay. Uh, which moving average is that? That's the 9 moving average. So on the daily, that's another thing. You're bullish as long as you're above the 9 moving average. Here's your 9 moving average on the daily. You're above it. Okay. So the markets are bullish as long as we're above it. Okay. And so there's no real big problems in the markets at the moment. Just something food for thought here. But like I said, we might be into a significant top. Not for sure yet. We'll see what happens. Okay. Okay. Something to be concerned about here. So if we are mirroring the 2021 rally and in the rally we've had this year, which a lot of people are saying that's what we're doing. We're mirroring the 2021 rally. Okay. So we went 1, 2, 3 Venom lines in 2021, found resistance, and eventually the first of the next year started selling off. Okay. So what do we do? Going, Where's it at here? So we're up into the fourth one now. One, two, three, and there's a venom line right there. Four. So we are beyond uh, using the venom lines beyond what we had there in 2021. So, just so food for thought. The fact that we just broke out of this resistance, it says a lot. We found support right where they needed to. So heads up on that. Another thing to think about here, we did rally back into the no current uh, the yearly point of control. So for the point of control, that's well, that's not right. Wait 1 second here. 1 second. Okay, yeah. Here's where I got this at. This right here. This is the monthly, the November, the current November. This is our point of control for November. This is our last line in the sand, so to say. That if you're wanting to get a lower high trigger, this is it. This is where you want to find sellers in the queues. You want them here at the point of control. You don't want it to turn bullish for November. So the inventory right here, right now for November in uh, the Nasdaq is right here, right now, neutral on the month. Okay, so we've came up from the bottom, and what you want to be a bear, you want this thing to fail right here. Um, and we've already broken through the anchored VWAPs. So from the all-time high anchored VWAPs, we're already above most of those in the other indices. Nasdaq's the only one that's still hanging out around there. So this one here is the one that's really giving us a lot of troubles. So we want to really keep a close eye on the Nasdaq. So I'm going to start with NVIDIA here because that's the one that we've had a few days to sell off after the earnings. So if they're going to save the NASDAQ, they really need to start coming in here, pushing NASDAQ higher. So we are into 3 years worth of venom lines here on the NASDAQ, which has rejected here on a week-on-week basis. Heads up on that. We go back down to the daily. Okay, we are firmly below the month of November's point of control. Okay, so heads up on that. We're on the bearish side of inventory, but still holding, uh, just barely holding on to support. So be very mindful of that. We are still barely clinging on to support here on the Nasdaq. So heads up on that, or on the Nvidia. This one's really important here. This one here has the biggest potential to drive the markets higher or drive the markets lower. So this is the one we really need to keep laser focus eye on going into this week. So IWM is just a smidgen off the prior all-time highs right here, guys. We do have anchored VWAP venom line resistance right above us here. So at anywhere around this 245 areas, there's a lot of resistance. So just be mindful of that in your trading. Could very well, hell, you could be at 245 tomorrow. You never know. So heads up on that. So we're trying to push out and above. We did it once, out and above this channel, and we're going into next. Uh, so we did already see this untested volume point of control. We actually already closed that off. So this is even a more bullish pattern because we did already satisfy that upside target. That's even a much more bullish scenario. Okay. You go into daily. How about the volume profile here? Forgot to do that on NASDAQ too. I'm sorry. So this is a poor high here. It got repaired here. Okay. And then we came in the Friday session. Uh, this is not, the pattern does not look completed to the upside. See how it cuts off? That's a P formation. So guys, a P formation in volume profile is a bullish formation. Okay. Yeah, can't do it. I was going to, but I can't do it. Okay. So yeah, like I said, a P formation, that is a bullish continuation potential for tomorrow. Now, that being said, let's go over here to the Qs real quick here. So what we got going on the Qs. A lot of back. I mean, this thing repaired both sides on Thursday. Okay, so the upside repaired. We came back down. The downside, was right was inside the prior range and stuff. So this is all repaired. I mean, and we actually closed at the highs in a P formation, just like the IWM. So this is a bullish pattern going into next week, or this week. So Apple, uh, last time it got into resistance, we're back into multi-year at the 2-year resistance level. Okay, last time we were into a similar situation was back here early 2022. And we got into that resistance and looked over a little bit, and it came right back down. And so it looks like to me, have to be really careful here. The Apple could potentially fail once it does break out. So be very mindful of that. The targets look like, let's see here. Yeah, extension. There you go. So we've actually hit the 100% already. There you go. So we came right up to that 100% and it failed. So let's see how and it came another time too. So heads up on that one. Microsoft just head and shoulders. It just keeps screaming head and shoulders to me until it doesn't. So just absolutely looks like a head and shoulders. Look at this divergence going on here. Now, granted, the good thing about it is the divergence has came way down. The MACD's come way down. If it continues to go sideways here, we get across. It's going to be at some point. It's going to be a buy. Okay, go down the daily. That's not the 2-hour daily. Okay, so everything's still looking bearish on the MACD. Down a 4-hour, there's nothing here. Okay, you do have a higher low on your MACD. Can't really read too much about it. So this thing could actually, you got a downtrend here. You see, there's a downtrend right here. So if you think the market's going to go higher, this thing here is probably going to be one of your leadership stocks. So heads up on that. And you guys know I love to trade Microsoft. I keep missing the setups. So heads up on that. Well, I'm just going to call her quits. I think the Qs, or the SPY, I forgot to do the measured thing I told you about. I told you about how we had resistance here on SPY. Oh, it's 4-hour. SPY weekly. See how if you come down here and you just draw a trend line as a fib extension here, right here where we found resistance. Look at that, guys. We're right at the 100%, right there, right here. That's your target. So we're right here on SPY, right smack dab, and we closed a little bit above it last week. That's it. So 591. 591 is the line in the sand. So heads up on that. If you zoom down, 4-hour, see how we looked above, came down, and we closed above it. So I want to see where we are tomorrow in relation to 591. If we're losing 591, we're early on in the morning. Heck yeah, man! I'm going to be looking to the downside. So, that could possibly set up for a head and shoulders right there in itself for a much deeper correction to repair some of the structure to the downside. So that is another scenario. Odds are the markets are going to be supported all week. So be very mindful of that. Okay. Thanks a lot for listening, and I will see you trading tomorrow.